You're crazy to know who I am, aren't you? All right, I'll show you.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the best movies to ease you into scary territory if you're not a horror fan.
God, I love you.
Number 10, The Menu. 2022 was a pretty good year for horror. One of the funnier movies from that year's offering was The Menu.
Is he gonna keep doing that?
The plot is simple. A couple goes to a fancy dinner on a remote island, while the guest list is exclusive and rich. But things aren't what they seem out on the island, and it quickly becomes apparent that the chef, played by Ralph Fiennes, has it out for the elite.
Miss Bloom, Lillian, if I may, my cherished early advocate, knows the damage she has done to so many livelihoods.
No. Hang on. Chef.
The Menu doesn't have too much blood or gore, nor does it rely on jump scares. It definitely puts you through an intense ride, but the satire gives you enough to poke fun at along the way.
What school did you go to?
Brown?
Student loans? No. I'm sorry, you're dying.
Number 9, Picnic at Hanging Rock.
I won't be here much longer.
This mystery film comes from filmmaker Peter Weir, one of the many filmmakers who called attention to the amazing cinema coming out of Australia in the 1970s. Picnic at Hanging Rock centers around a group of schoolgirls and teachers who go missing during a picnic.
Miranda, don't go up there, come back!
The film will surely leave you feeling haunted, but without the conventional hallmarks of your typical horror movie. The frightening aspects of Picnic at Hanging Rock all stem from the gorgeous cinematography and the mystery surrounding the girls' disappearance. There might not be jump scares, but you're bound to feel unsettled. Number 8, The Cabin in the Woods. We know what you're thinking.
Are you even listening to me?
This one looks a lot gorier and creepier than someone who doesn't like horror would care to sit through. But The Cabin in the Woods is a lot funnier and smarter than you might imagine.
そして今、キコの魂はこのカエルの中で幸せに生き続けていく。
And if you're a person who thinks that horror tropes are silly, The Cabin in the Woods is just the movie for you. The plot of the movie, which centers around college students stuck in a spooky cabin, deconstructs all the horror tropes you love to make fun of.
Guess how we're slowing down cognition.
I don't know.
The hair dye.
Dumb blonde. Very artistic.
The film is scary, weird, and funny, and somehow manages to combine all of those feelings into one heck of a good time. Number 7, Get Out.
Get out. Sorry, man.
Okay.
Get out!
Even if you don't like horror, don't let yourself miss out on seeing one of the best movies of the 2010s. Get Out comes from the twisted mind of Jordan Peele. The comedian brings his particular brand of humor to the story of a black man going to meet his white girlfriend's family for the first time.
By the way, I would have voted for Obama for a third term if I could. Best president in my lifetime, hands down.
But he also shows that he has a clear master of filmmaking and a real appreciation for horror history. Even if you aren't a horror aficionado, however, you'll still be able to appreciate the apt mix of comedy, thrills, and social commentary.
In life, what is your purpose?
Right now, it's finding those keys.
Number 6, Halloween. Sometimes you have to get your hang-ups. Even if you aren't a huge horror fan, Halloween is one classic you just can't miss.
You know, it's Halloween. I guess everyone's entitled to one good scare, huh?
John Carpenter's 1970s slasher flick is one of the most influential films of all time. Starring a young Jamie Lee Curtis, Halloween follows babysitter Laurie Strode as she is terrorized by Michael Myers. The film spawned a huge franchise and is the genesis for so many horror tropes. There's something for everyone who's a fan of film in general in Halloween.
What about the jack-o'-lantern?
After the movie.
What about the rest of my comic books?
After the jack-o'-lantern.
What about the boogeyman?
There's no such thing.
Number 5, Christine. Human murderers and killers? Please, that's so boring. If you're looking for something a little more interesting, why not try a killer car on for size?
Okay. Show me.
Christine is about a nerdy kid named Arnie Cunningham who purchases a 1958 Plymouth Fury that comes named as Christine. And Fury is right. Christine isn't just an ordinary vehicle. She has a mind of her own, and she's ready to crash into anyone who gets between her and Arnie. Christine is quite the romp, with its best performance from the main gal herself. It's the type of campy horror extravaganza that will leave you grinning when it's done. Number 4, The Invisible Man.
I told you not to disturb me.
In 2020, a remake of H.G. Wells' The Invisible Man was released, starring Elizabeth Moss. That movie and its commentary on domestic abuse, however, might be a little much for some to take.
I found something that can prove what I'm experiencing.
We recommend going for the 1933 original from director James Whale. The film stars classic Hollywood actor Claude Rains in the titular role. Dr. Jack Griffin was turned invisible by a science experiment gone wrong, and now uses his ability to play tricks.
Good morning, grandfather. How do you do?
But things take a sinister note when those tricks escalate to murder. The movie really holds up after all these years, particularly its special effects, which are just as stunning now as they were almost a century ago. Number 3, Evil Dead 2.
It is through the recitation of the book's passages that this dark spirit is given license to possess the living.
If you've seen the original Evil Dead, you might wonder why its sequel is on this list. Well, the second installment in this franchise is a little less of a sequel and more of a complete remake, but this time with comedy. Evil Dead 2 sees Ash return to a cabin in the woods with his girlfriend, and once again fight off the Deadites with more pizzazz, humor, and style than before.
He was prophesied to have destroyed the evil.
Didn't do a very good job.
Director Sam Raimi takes the terrifying premise of the first movie and turns it into a ridiculous horror comedy that feels fresh and exhilarating every time you watch it.
Groovy.
Number 2, Misery.
I'm your number 1 fan. There's nothing to worry about. You're gonna be just fine. I'll take good care of you.
Even if you don't like horror, you have to give any Stephen King adaptation at least an old college try. Misery is a scary one, but also one of the very best.
You did it! You did it! You did it! You did it! You murdered my Misery!
Eddie!
More psychological thriller than horror, Misery follows an author played by James Caan, who ends up under the care of his number 1 fan, Annie Wilkes, after a car accident. The movie reflects a lot of King's own anxieties about his fan base and the perils of fame, all coming together in the terrifying portrayal of Annie.
Annie, for God's...
Shh, darling. Trust me.
God's sake.
It's for the best.
Annie, please!
Played by Kathy Bates, who won an Oscar for her performance, Annie is one of the scariest characters in recent movie history. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Barbarian Sound Studio. What would it be like to work on a horror film? Beloved, a gothic ghost story you won't soon forget.
Good God, girl. What kind of evil you got in there?
A Quiet Place. Don't make a sound. Before
we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. What We Do in the Shadows. Why watch a scary vampire horror movie when you can watch a funny vampire horror movie?
Ooh, look, a ghost cap floating all by itself.
The mockumentary, What We Do in the Shadows, takes the stereotype of horror vampires and puts them into the real world. Ever wonder if it's also awkward for vampires to remind their roommates that they're behind on rent? Now you don't have to.
We're going to have a flat meeting in about 10 minutes.
20.
Okay, is it?
Because these are, well, vampires. You can still expect all the blood and flesh biting that comes along with that. But Jermaine Clement and Taika Waititi bring fresh voices to the vampire subgenre, making this one of the best movies of its ilk.
Stu is the first human friend that I've had for a long time. With humans, there is a tendency to die.
Yeah.
If we missed any of your favorite films from Horror 101, let us know in the comments below.
They'll say, why, she wouldn't even harm a fly.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.